All right, guys, I hopped in and finished the Entertainment District arc to get ready for the new movie that's dropping this Friday. And that Entertainment District arc was a masterpiece. Like, it took what was done on the Mugen train and amplified it. We saw so much growth, so much development, and kind of a changing of the guards. We hope it's a kind of changing of the guards. But let's get into it, man. So at the beginning of the arc, like I expected, it was still this hangover from the loss of Rengoku. It still hits them hard. Definitely Tanjiro, it hits him hard. He goes to deliver the message, and I was expecting like a different interaction with Rengoku's family than what we got. Like, his dad was a complete jerk. Like, he was a jerk from beginning to to end of that meeting. Like, just a jerk. I did not expect that. And I expected when he went there and he got the flame breathing book that he would be able to find something, but it was nothing in the book. The book was destroyed, kind of leading us to believe that he's going to have to go back and learn from Rengoku's dad because he's the only one that knows what was in that book. And he kind of alluded to knowing exactly what Tanjiro is based off his earrings and from his scar, which he was like, turns out later he wasn't born with that scar. He got it, but I feel like it's a little twist in there some way, shape, or form. But they end their meeting, and then he gets pulled off into a mission with the Sound Hashira, who starts off as a jerk. Like, everybody started off as like an a-hole. It didn't make any sense that everybody was just going to be a jerk, especially with Rengoku just dying. It might have been the way that they was dealing with grieving, but they were just a-holes from the beginning. Like, it didn't make no sense. So they head off to the Entertainment District for this mission to kind of find out what is going on. The Sound Hashira sent his three wives in, and they just didn't reach back out. So it means they kind of got found out, which we found out they got caught. He dressed the boys up as girls and threw them in there, and he was like, he sold them as ugly girls. Like, just take them off my hands. And y'all could have them. Like, they was just ugly girls. So as they got deeper into that mission, it's really good that they trained beforehand. Like, they got buff before going on to this mission. Again, they had that hangover from Rengoku's death. They needed to get stronger. And Tanjiro was like, I need to be better to be able to save people because I was not able to save Mr. Rengoku. And it's funny that he takes that burden on himself. Like, he was the Hashira, and he was like, I failed because I wasn't able to save the guy who was several ranks above me. It's like crazy, his determination, his will. Like, he feels the burden of not being able to save Mr. Rengoku when, again, he was nowhere near as strong as Rengoku. So he vowed, like, I'm never going to make that happen again. So they trained like crazy. All of them trained like crazy. And I was like, when is that training going to pay off? Because when the battle started with the upper dinner, they were just getting knocked around, man. They were getting knocked around. I was like, yo, they did all that training. What's going on? Like, kick it in, man. Kick it in. They were getting knocked around. Not too bad. Not like when they fought Akaza on the Mugen train. Like, not like those demons, that lowercase demon that they fought, but they were kind of getting knocked around at the same time, slightly holding their own. But what made me mad is that the Sound Hashira was only concerned about saving his wives. Like, it was clear that he was only concerned about saving his wives because there's a period in time where Tanjiro is by himself fighting the upper demon. I'm like, yo, where is this buddy? He's sound, he's fast. Like, how is he not there yet? And Tanjiro was like holding his own, kind of giving the business, and, trying to do it on his own, but he shouldn't have had to do it on his own because there was a Hashira there. I was like, where are you at, dude? Get your head in the game. It took after him finding all his wives, rescuing his wives, which Inosuke really rescue them. He was like, oh yeah, I forgot. It's an upper demon we gotta find. It's like, what are you doing, boss? What are you doing, man? Get up there and help the boy. But it turned out to be good because that fight made Tanjiro stronger. And when you find out that it's two demons, then brother and sister, it kind of paralleled Tanjiro and Nezuko. It was like this weird good versus evil. Like, if I would have took that path, that could have been us. It was crazy, but it was cool to see the instant power up. Like, when that fight was going on, finally, that training kicked in, and Tanjiro went to a whole nother level. Then Nezuko went to a whole nother level, which kind of put her berserk. So he had to find a way to calm her back down because she went nuts for a minute because she had so much power at one time to save her brother. But he was able to get her calm back down with the help of his mother. Like, it's cool to see that the mother and father are still kind of guiding them through all of this, even though they're in the afterlife. So the fight is a monster. The Sound Hashira finally gets there, and they get busy. And every moment that you think that they're about to chop their heads off, boom, something crazy happens to prevent them. And when they finally got on the same page, then they kind of had a really good plan. It was like you three take care of that one, I'll take care of this one. The Sound Hashira kind of really gained a lot of respect for Tanjiro and them because he saw how the way they were fighting, and the fact that Tanjiro saved his wife. He was like, you got my gratitude, you got my respect. Like, okay, I'm with you now, buddy. Let's get busy. But then he goes down, everybody goes down. I'm like, oh man, they didn't got washed. And it's just Tanjiro. Like, it was just Tanjiro, and he's left standing with all of those. But it was really, really cool to see, like, he still is such a critical tactical thinker. Like, when he got up and ran, the demon's like, oh, he's just trying to flee his friends. And he was like, nah, I'm going to get this poison dart, throw it in, I'm going to get your head off. And he surprised him and almost cut his head off. He almost did it. I was like, yo, my man he be using that noggin, man. He be using that noggin in more ways than one. And he did it with one hand because Buddy broke his finger, so he walked around with broken fingers. Like, it was nuts that he, in the moment that every time he felt like he was going to give up, it was some way, shape, or form, somebody, whether it was his inner voice or Nezuko telling him, like, don't give up, drove him to be able to get the victory. When they finally got it, after the Sound Hashira had to lose an arm, he lost his whole arm. Like, I was like, I didn't even see when he lost his arm, but he was just on the ground, lost the arm. Then he came back and is fighting with one arm. And it seemed like he was fighting better with one arm than he was with two, which was crazy. But they finally are able to devise a great plan into finally being able to cut both of their heads off at the same time, which they had to be really, really, really strong upper demons, because they were around for centuries because no one could figure out you got to cut off both of their heads because no one knew there were two in one. So the fact that these young guys and this Hashira got to the point to where it was able to knock their heads off, it was like, hats off to you guys. The training, it shows like you guys have grown. Are y'all ready for that next step up? Because the Sound Hashira was like, I'm done, man. My arm gone. I got my wires. We cool. I'm done. I'm retired. But he recommended Tanjiro as a Hashira. Like, that, how fast would that rise in rank have happened? Like, would he be the fastest young Hashira to ever do it? Like, it's crazy, but we don't know if they're going to actually do it. But he got the recommendation from Buddy, who was like, flat out, like, I wouldn't have been able to do it without those guys. I wouldn't have been able to finish this without, I'd be dead. My eyes be dead. They helped me get the job done. And at points, like they were getting the job done on their own. Like, it was crazy. And the amount of times that they went down and you thought that they were down for the count and they got back up, I was like, oh man, it's like, you guys keep dodging these bullets, man. Keep dodging these bullets. But we don't know if Tanjiro's going to get that promotion or not. We'll find out. It seems like everything is moving in that direction, but we don't know. Hopefully he does, and hopefully he'll be able to get more training, and hopefully he can go back and get some training from Rengoku's dad, because that will help him significantly, because he tapped into an inner power that we hadn't seen before, and surprised the upper demon, surprised everybody. So I want to see that training and that progression so that he can be able to control that power. But we're going to find out in this new movie on Friday. I'm going to let you guys know what I think without giving out any spoilers, because I'm not going to be that guy. But I'm going to go check it out, let you guys know exactly what I think. But that is it for this one. Be easy, my friends.